April 15, 2023. The interstate was quiet when Trooper Billy Martin spotted an Infiniti G37 slicing through traffic like a blade through silk. The radar flashed triple digits before he even hit his siren. Within seconds, the Infiniti roared past the limit, its taillights carving red trails into the night sky. The trooper flipped his lights on, but the suspect didn't flinch. What followed wasn't a chase, it was a display. The kind that turns officers into spectators and the highway into a stage.
B102. East Drive Rick. 23 to 4, you want to cross state lines on this one?
Martin's cruiser surged forward, the speedometer climbing past 150. The pursuit tore through the empty lanes, headlights bending through curves as the Infiniti danced with danger. Every move was deliberate. When semis clogged the right lane, the driver threaded through the narrow space between them with surgical precision. The G37 was heavy but agile, moving with a rhythm that felt orchestrated. It wasn't running from the police, it was outpacing them with style.
45 right now, I'm at 140. Add the 283 past the slow lane.
Behind the wheel, Martin fought the wheel's vibration. The cruiser, built for endurance, wasn't meant to play this kind of game. Each second, he risked control every bounce on the pavement, a reminder that death travels fast at 160. Still, he pressed on, voice tight over the radio, calling updates between bursts of static. Ahead, the Infiniti sliced through another wave of cars, the red tail lights stretching thinner until they vanished into the darkness.
Go ahead and stay with it until we can get Tennessee involved.
Moments later, the driver made a move no one expected. Without warning, the G37 swung into a violent U-turn straight into oncoming traffic. Headlights flared, horns screamed, chaos erupted. For a split second, Martin considered following, but instinct won over pride. He knew what that turn meant. It wasn't courage, it was madness. He lifted his foot off the gas, his cruiser slowing under the burden of restraint. The Infiniti disappeared into the blur of opposing lights, swallowed whole by the night.
He's going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way.
RC, did you make contact with Memphis and Tennessee Highway Patrol?
I'm 22. He's going the wrong direction, running about 100 plus.
When the command called off the pursuit, the silence in Martin's car was suffocating. No arrest, no wreck, just the echo of what could have been a disaster. The footage would later be reviewed frame by frame, every reckless turn, every perfect maneuver, and the conclusion was the same. The GTR Phantom. On a humid night along Georgia 400, two cars lined up side by side, a Dodge Charger and a Nissan GTR. To passing traffic, it looked like casual racing bravado. But when the blue lights erupted behind them, the game turned into war. The trooper picked his target, the GTR, unaware that he was chasing a machine built for the impossible. Under the hood roared 800 horsepower, and behind the wheel sat a driver who understood every inch of speed.
Right, and he's exhibiting the normal characteristics you'd expect from somebody who's got a lot of adrenaline. They're really pumping it.
When the sirens pierced the night, the GTR didn't panic. It simply transformed. Tires bit into the concrete, the twin-turbo engine screamed, and in the blink of an eye, it was hitting 175 miles per hour. The radio calls blurred highway markers, exits, speeds, all meaningless against a streak of white lightning disappearing into the distance. Every maneuver was flawless. The GTR shifted lanes like it was slicing through time itself, untouchable and terrifyingly smooth.
Usually with these types of cases, they end up going to a neighborhood or an area they're familiar with. Of course, at this point, we don't know where he's going. Maybe he doesn't know where he's going.
The trooper tried to close in, pushing his cruiser into dangerous territory. The car trembled, the tires shrieked, the risk multiplied. Still, he stayed locked in, unwilling to let go. The chase flew through Atlanta's arteries, Buford Highway, Cortland, and the HOV ramp. Each curve tighter, each second louder. The GTR danced through the chaos, weaving through headlights, slicing between vehicles with inches to spare.
He's flying off that. You see that car diving out of the way there. He's going to go straight through that street and continue now on this.
All right, Gil.
At one point, the trooper lined up for a pit attempt, his bumper trembling just feet from the target. The officer backed off, his heart pounding through his vest, watching the taillights pull away once again. The final Hellcat duel, in another humid Arkansas night, the kind that hums with static before something violent begins. Trooper Tanner Crossland clocked a Dodge Charger Hellcat roaring past with casual arrogance, bright lights, heavy engine, no fear. When he hit the sirens, the Charger didn't hesitate. It bolted. Within seconds, the speedometer soared past 150, headlights fading into streaks of motion. Crossland knew exactly what this was. Not a runner, a challenger. The kind who doesn't play games, he writes them.
E38 Pine Bluff, 1024.
The Hellcat's engine screamed through the silence, its exhaust echoing off the overpasses. It moved like it knew every inch of the road, using the shadows and the curves to break the line of sight. Crossland's cruiser pushed past its limit, shaking under the pressure. The highway lights stretched into golden ribbons, the world reduced to blur and noise. For 10 minutes, both machines existed in a vacuum of speed, one hunting, one fleeing, neither willing to stop.
We're approaching the 28.
Bravo E38, 10-4.
Speed's 134. Could be a black Charger, RT.
Suddenly, the Hellcat cut its lights. Darkness swallowed it whole. The trooper saw nothing but faint tire sparks ahead. A brake check followed a violent, deliberate. Crossland swerved, barely avoiding a collision. The Hellcat darted off-road, tires exploding through dirt. But physics caught up. One tire shredded instantly, sparks shot from the rim, and the car's speed bled away.
38 Pine Bluff, he's pulling out ahead of me. I think he's got the Charger RT model. Traffic's giving me trouble.
Crossland took the opening. He called for backup, circled wide, and matched the Hellcat's broken rhythm. The chase snaked through local streets, Marketplace, Highway 5, Woody Drive, each name forever etched into another page of Arkansas pursuit history. The driver was desperate now, his wounded car limping, headlights flickering like a dying animal. Crossland closed in, voice steady, pulse cold. When the moment came, he turned the wheel, executed a perfect pit maneuver, and ended it. The driver was pulled from the wreck, checked sweat, fear, and defeat mixing under the flashing lights. Another self-proclaimed racer undone by arrogance. But for Crossland, it wasn't a triumph. It was confirmation. These weren't amateurs anymore. These were professional drivers who studied law enforcement patterns, road layouts, and mechanical limits. That night, under a haze of smoke and flashing blue, the truth was undeniable. The streets had evolved, and the cops were no longer chasing criminals. They were chasing legends.